You're listening to the AOL Small Cap Show, powered by AGORACOM.com, the web's leading small cap portal.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Al O'Grady, and on today's program, we have with us the CEO of Carbon Friendly Solutions, Mr. Michael Young. Carbon Friendly is an environmental company doing its part to reduce greenhouse gases that are responsible for global warming. It does this through a number of initiatives, including reforestation efforts, biomass technology, and also through the generation of carbon credits for sale in the global voluntary and compliance markets. Carbon Friendly Solutions trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CFQ and on the Frankfurt under the symbol 0FS. Mr. Young, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Al.
Okay. Mike, this is the first time really that you and I have been able to have a discussion about your company. You have an interesting business model. Tell us about your company and some of the things that you're doing.
Well, as you just mentioned, Al, Carbon Friendly is a project proponent focusing on emission reduction business activities. And, currently we're focusing on the reforestation opportunities, renewable energy, and biomass energy sectors. We've done 3 reforestation projects, 2 in Europe, and we just recently completed a pilot reforestation project in northern Ontario. Was planted in June and is currently being validated to the Climate Community Biodiversity Alliance methodology by Rainforest Alliance.
Okay. You touched on 3 different areas, and we'll go into detail in all 3 of those. Let's start with carbon credits for starters. How does that program actually work, and how do you guys make money at it?
Well, that's a good question, and it really just depends on the project type. Reforestation can be somewhat of a challenge, especially in North America, because your sequestration rates are not the greatest. However, having said that, we've been able to, what we feel, be successful in Ontario, and doing that project probably cost us in the neighborhood of about $3 a credit for the number of offsets that we'll get from that project. And we feel that we can get probably in the $6 to $7 U.S. range. So the profit margins are fairly good in reforestation. If you're looking at our recent news release about bioenergy products, again, the markup is very good there. We have an opportunity in Mission, BC, that we've signed with a company called the Clark Group. They've been in the cedar shake industry for 60, 70 years. So the most important component to that business is obtaining the feedstock, which we've been able to secure through our agreement with them. We've got a very strategic location, which is right on the Fraser River and near rail for transport. Our goal there is to bring in wood waste and residual fiber, grind it and chip it to a size that you can then densify it into what we call a briquette, or the commercial name that everybody would be familiar with would be Presto Log type product, utilizing a number of feedstocks, and then that product can be used to generate heat and power. And currently there's a huge market and demand for it in Europe, and we've also signed some letters with companies looking to purchase the product. So we've kind of gone full circle, as well as having the conceptual design and the engineering in place. It
seems that biomass is really something new. Do you really have to overtake people's perceptions? I mean, if they don't understand it, it's kind of hard for them to jump on the bandwagon, so to speak?
Not really. I mean, it's a fair question for North America. I think it's sort of in North America, the natural gas is still fairly cheap, and I think what's going to sort of motivate more bioenergy here is really policy coming down from government, forcing companies to use less fossil fuel and more alternative energy. But in Europe, there's community heating plants everywhere in Scandinavia, Austria, those locations, Asia now, and they're heavily weighted on coal. So these countries that are looking to reduce their emissions are starting to utilize biomass mixed in with the coal to reduce their carbon footprint. As a matter of fact, Ontario Power is doing the same thing now, because Ontario is also heavily weighted on coal, and I think they're currently around 15% biomass now mixed in with their coal, and they want to move that up to around 25%. So these particular companies and regions will be looking for companies like Carbon Friendly that have, a densified fuel product that still gets a good BTU rating or burn rating, to be able to supply them with energy.
Sure. Now, what sort of impact would the Kyoto Protocol have on all this? I would imagine it would certainly be helping you along, would it not?
Absolutely. Well, the Kyoto Protocol was really the key driving force to get all this going to begin with. All of the countries that ratified Kyoto, and then, of course, the countries that are required to reduce have started the ball rolling, and that happened in January 1st, 2005. That the Kyoto Protocol started. But now you've got the Waxman Markey bill that just got passed by Congress, and it's currently in the Senate. It'll probably take anywhere from 12 to 24 months with all the filibustering to get through the Senate, but it looks like it's got a lot of traction, and if that goes through, we're talking about probably 2 billion tons of CO2 that needs to be removed from their footprint in the U.S. alone. And you factor in Kyoto and all of those countries, you're looking at another 2 billion tons. And to give you an example of the size or the scope of this, since Kyoto started in January 1st, 2005, there's been 1,800 Clean Development Mechanism projects for a total of 1.5 billion offsets. And so I'm talking here with Kyoto and the U.S., we're talking 4 billion tons a year. And in Kyoto to this date, in 4 years, is only a total of 1.5 billion. So bioenergy is a carbon neutral solution, and in my opinion, will be in high demand for any region or company looking to reduce their footprint.
You seem to have a unique business model dealing with biomass potential, reforestation efforts. Are you the only guys doing this sort of thing?
I'm the only. We're the only company that I'm aware of in North America that is diverse like that. I mean, there's a lot of companies now that have entered the marketplace, specific to one industry sector. Especially when you think about renewable companies, there's wind farm companies, solar panel companies. We're looking at sort of the projects that make the most sense, to our shareholders and can bring us the best return. We got into this initially through reforestation, but there's, being an early entrant, that's one of the advantages we have. I have a lot of opportunity that comes across my desk every week, and we look at them as much as we can. We look at every opportunity and source out the ones that we think make the most sense. And really, the idea of the bioenergy came to play just because BC is home to, unfortunately, around 12 million hectares of pine beetle infested trees that are currently decomposing and emitting back to the atmosphere and pose a very high fire hazard risk. And currently there's fires everywhere in BC right now too. Right. And so this has become a big political issue, and so our goal, our hope is to be able to, and we're working on that right now with the BC Climate Initiative, to hopefully get a pilot project where we can actually utilize a section of non-merchantable mountain pine beetle infested wood as bioenergy, and then reforest that section so that we can not only claim carbon credits for the reforestation, but we can use the wood as a bioenergy product. Okay.
Mike, do some crystal ball gazing for us if you could. Where do you see the company in the next 3 to 6 months, short term, and also a longer term horizon, say the next 3 to 5 years?
In the next 3 to 6 months, our goal is to complete our financing for our mission project. That's our bioenergy production facility, briquetting facility, and we plan to start accepting feedstock and wood waste to that site in probably spring of 2010. We'd like to officially open it probably somewhere around June of 2010. And we were looking at a production of approximately 50,000 to 60,000 tons of briquettes year one, scaling that up to 250,000 tons by year 5. We're looking at probably year one alone would be around 9 to 10 million in revenue, and based on our financial projections, we're anticipating somewhere in the neighborhood of a 1.5 million net profit year one.
Mike, that's it as far as the formal questions are concerned. As always, I leave my guest with the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to add right now?
I would just finish by saying that Carbon Friendly is an early entrant in this new rapidly growing carbon economy. And as we continue to execute our current project objectives, we will be well positioned to achieve positive cash flow over the next 24 months.
Okay. On that note, Mike, I want to thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us about carbon-friendly solutions.
Okay, thanks, Al.
Okay. And Carbon-Friendly Solutions trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CFQ and on the Frankfurt under the symbol 0FS. And you've been listening to Michael Young, CEO of Carbon-Friendly Solutions, on today's AOL Small Cap Show, produced by AGORACOM. I'm Al O'Grady. Thanks for joining us.